Saturday morning, 9 a.m., no guts, no story. And here we are for another great day together. I wish that you were here with me in my house. I wish we were just sitting across from each other and we could just visit and talk. I don't know how far away from me you are. I know it's a very blistering cold day here in Kansas. And so many people are anticipating the next chapter, right? They're all saying it's about to be spring. Pretty soon it's going to be spring. And what I want you to do today is just think about where you're at right now. And let's talk about what it's going to take for you to be happy, for you to have peace, for you to be like, I love this season. I love where I'm at. I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm experiencing. I love the energy around me. And I want to help you with that. So if you would do me a favor, if you would share this on your wall, today we're going to inspire some people to feel good, to feel worth it, that they are enough. They are loved. They are accepted. They have everything they need to really shine. And I'm reading a great book right now. How many of you are readers? Anybody reading a great book? And I'm not talking about 50 Shades of Grey, or as my daughter says, my fairy book. I love a good book and a good story. And I've read a lot of great books and great stories. But I want to ask you, like, what are you reading right now or listening to that's actually helping you become a better version of yourself? You can still do the fiction and all the fun books, but what are you putting in right now to make you feel worth it, that you are enough to truly achieve your goals and dreams? Because if you don't think you're worth it, you're surely right. And that is just a sad situation. Last night, I was cleaning out our office. We have a manufacturing facility down the hill, and we've had it for many, many years. And what happens after many, many years is you accumulate lots and lots of stuff. So that office was a place where I was literally dialing for dollars, like trying to call salons and boutiques and people I met at market, just Rubbermaids full of business cards. And it was funny because I was looking back through all the ticket books. It was kind of sad because a lot of the writing was my mother-in-law saying, so-and-so called, met Barb at Atlanta, met Barb at Las Vegas, met Barb at Dallas, met Barb at New York, New York. And I was looking through all these old boxes of stuff, and I came across this dream board. Now, on Mother's Day, Dave and Brooklyn built me this huge dream board that's wood that takes up half the wall. And looking at it, there's a lot of things on that board that we have achieved, like almost everything. And there's some things that we have achieved, they just look different or a different timeline. And my niece, Lacey, who runs the whole office down there, she was there, and I said, ugh, looking at that dream board. And there was one particular dream, and it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just my grandkids were photoshopped in a picture at Atlantis. And I said, it doesn't matter how hard I try. It's like I just cannot accomplish that one. And she goes, but you did take them to Hawaii, and they did go for Kylie's engagement, and they did experience Alani Disney. Like, she was reminding me of everything I did instead of me looking at the one thing that I didn't accomplish. Now, how many of you are guilty of this? Like, you set a goal and you know what you want, but then you get home and it doesn't happen for whatever reason. And then you start to notch away at yourself that you didn't show up at the gym, you didn't wake up and read, you didn't make the calls, you didn't do whatever it is. And so you go to an event or you get on a call and your belief is up here like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then when you don't do it, what happens is it really affects your self-confidence. And so a lot of people are self-confident. They know that they are good at what they do, but then they don't feel worthy because of something that's happened in their past. And I'm going to tell you a great quote that really set me free. It said, true forgiveness is realizing that the past couldn't have been any different than how it turned out. And really understanding that your timeline on this planet has nothing to do with your expectation, or it does, have to do with your expectation, but nothing to do with your plan, and everything to do with God's plan. And your higher power knew before you got on the ground, like, this is going to be the trajectory of their life. So why do we spend our whole life trying to change people, fix people, wish people were different? People have to learn lessons. That's how they grow. People have to be conditioned. That's how they get strength. People have to fail. That's how they get the tenacity to know that they can keep on going and keep on going. So last night, there were so many things that I was reflecting on in this room full of stuff, 20 years of things. But there was this dream board, and it was so funny, guys, because this was 2015. And my goal was to become a black diamond with 1 million in volume. And I was literally laughing talking to Dave. I said, God has such a funny sense of humor, because I don't even remember that being the name of a rank in 2015. But this was my game plan, right? This was my game plan. It was a time in my life when I was starting at zero. A lot of things that I thought were going to be a certain way weren't. I was promised a lot of things that didn't happen. And I made a decision that at the time I was like, I just made the biggest mistake of my life. I was growing. I was learning. I had to know what I didn't want in order to know what I wanted. And looking on here, it's so funny because there was Dave's best friend, Bert. Man, I was counting on him. My son, Chance, who was 19 years old. My mother-in-law, Cindy, who didn't ever want to be successful in network marketing. She only wanted to use a product, not go out and build a team. A random guy that I had just met because he did a private label with us. And he owned a network marketing company, and we were making his essential oils. And then there was this DJB. And this was me trying to convince someone that if they started an LLC, I could help them. And this was my game plan to get to 1 million a month in volume. Now, I will tell you, we did accomplish our goal, but it didn't happen like this. And the person I least expected to really take off and go crazy was my son, Chance. He became the #1 person. He was leading all the millennials. He was literally breaking records. And here's what's really funny. Over here was my daily score. I mean, you got to know the score. Some people still don't know how to do this. But on day 1, I had 7 new people. On day 2, I had 8 new customers. On day 3, I had 8. Down here, about the 14th, it was 12. But on the 15th, it was only 3. And then on the 16th, it was 10. There was one day it was 17. Now, what if I was gauging my worth based on the day that I only had 3 customers, 3 new people that joined my team? Do you know, there was a time where I used to go down to the shed in that room, and I would call random salons that had never bought from me before, because that was my main market. And I would say, this is Barb Pitcock. I was just calling you. I have a product that I think you could benefit from. And I would literally just wing it. And I would get hung up on. I would get, where did you get my number? And it was funny because the only reason why I kept dialing when my self-worth was like, you're not enough, you're not going to make it, you're stupid, it's not going to work. The only reason that I kept going was because of the dream. So I turned to the next page of this flip chart, and it's quite comical. Oh, dang, it just ripped off. I used to have to make all the people be in the right area. So I didn't just have people I wanted to do something with. I had to have Riley and Hayden in Brooklyn, my daughter. I was like, you got to get your friend Jenna, right? And this was such a job, you guys. I can't even believe I made it. But my 2 goals were to pay off $8,000 to the Hilton Hotel so I could host a New Year's retreat. We lost money every year, but I did it anyway. I'll let all these people come for $99 just so I could sew into them. And then I would pay their meal. And then the hotel would charge me an extra 20%. It was so funny thinking about this. And then after I paid the money to the hotel was Chance's car. We blew the motor because we were late to Callie's game. And we didn't stop to put oil on our way back from a convention that we shouldn't have even driven to. And it was clear in LA. I looked at the next chart. My goal was to help 7 people get their dreams and goals. The next page, I had made a random list of people that I thought might be the one. But the next page is where it really got crazy, guys. Looking here, I knew that if I helped enough other people get what they wanted, I would have everything I dreamed of. So instead of my goals, I had all of them, and I had all of their goals. I had their phone number. I had their birthday. I had their anniversary. I had their email. I wrote down their goals and dreams. And do you want to know what happened? we surpassed anything we ever dreamed of. I believed that they were worth it, that I would sacrifice my time, that I would drive the miles, that I would get on the call, that I would get on the Zoom. And when I helped enough other people know that they were worth it, I had more than I could possibly spend. Now, a month ago, I was on an inner circle call. We have an inner circle call with leaders on our team that are serious. And on my back wall today, behind the calendar, there's 80 people's names. And what was their word? What was their word for the year? So when I take this calendar down, all I see is everybody else's dreams, everybody else's goals, everybody else's affirmations. And I want to ask you, if somebody said to you, I believe you are worth it, I will mentor you, I will coach you, I will give you everything you need to succeed, what would your response be? What would your response be? Because the only reason you're freaking miserable is because you're not believing that you're worth it. The only reason you would stay stuck is because you're letting all the people around you determine if you're going to be happy, skinny, rich, successful, free, well-known, a hermit, a championship fisherman, a championship bull rider, the dancer on the K-State dance team, like whatever it is that you really want, we know the formula. Like, it is so scary to me how many things Dave and I have put on that board that we have literally crushed them. Do you know the only thing that we can't crush? The only thing that's ever on my dream board that does not happen is something that involves me getting other people to do something that I want them to do. And I want to tell you why. Because their self-worth, where right over here is paradise, they could have everything. It's the land of paradise. It's all their dreams and goals. Somebody in their life put something in their head that made them feel that they're not worthy. And even when success comes, they sign up a top leader, they land the most amazing account. They are right there, like they're at the finish line, and they literally fall on the hurdles. They're right there ready to break the rank, and they're like, I don't know. I don't know if I want that responsibility right now. They come to the event, like they're about to cross that stage and they're about to get this incredible award. And right before it, huge success, it's in their hands, they sabotage it all. And I see this over and over and over and over again. I work with a lot of great people. I work with a lot of amazing leaders. I work with people that are so talented, so much more talented than I am. So many people that like, I want to do life with them. And I meet them and I'm like, you're so freaking amazing. You're everything that I'm not. Let's team up. Let's go, go, go. And let me tell you, the number one reason I see people fail over and over and over again. Great people better at this than me, because they show up to the world how they believe they have to show up to be loved and accepted. They're people pleasers. And for so freaking long, I was a people pleaser. Like, what are my kids going to think? What is my mother-in-law going to think? What if I don't go on Sunday to watch football at grandma's house? Like, what is my mom going to think my mom wouldn't care, because my mom would be the last one to get there and she would be late. But I'm just trying to make up an example. Like, what if we don't do the normal tradition? What if I don't go to college? What if I don't get this award? What if I change my mind and I want to be in network marketing instead of being an attorney? Like, what if I want to write a book, but God, I couldn't write the true story because what if my family read the book? Newsflash, the ones you're worried about never going to read your book. Like, it's so crazy. True story. I've experienced that. So the true story is all of the people that I meet that I truly believe are going to become multi-millionaires, and they're just right there, they don't think they're worth it. So there's this comparison syndrome. Well, if I would have been more like him, maybe if I would be more like her, I would be. And that's a you problem. That's not a we problem. That's a you problem. And here's the difference in me and everyone that thinks that I got lucky. I haven't been out at a bar other than twice, maybe 3 times with my husband in 31 years of marriage. I don't go on girl trips. I probably should. I mean, I did go to Most Powerful Women event. Vanessa Hunter and I share the same anniversary. We both went to Most Powerful Women, not once, but twice, without our husbands on our anniversary. So if that's a girl trip, it was a meeting. It was a me becoming a more powerful wife, me becoming a better mom, me becoming a better entrepreneur. But like my habits are different. My habits are different. And I was so beat down as a little girl growing up that once I understood this equation of self-worth, I'm not going to let anyone put a lid on me. And you shouldn't either. I'm also not going to lower my standards to be accepted and loved. I'm not going to do what everyone else in the crowd is doing just to be popular. I'm not going to join in when there's gossip. I'm going to shut that shit down. I'm definitely not going to go hang out with a bunch of people that want to tear other companies down and tear other people down and post hateful things. Like, I'm not going to go where people go that are insulted by someone else's success. They are deflated by someone else's recognition. They're threatened by another powerful woman walking in the door or another powerful couple in our situation. Here's what I know. There's strength in numbers. There is strength in numbers. And when you surround yourself with people that know their worth, they're not threatened by your success. When you surround yourself with people that are confident in what they're doing, they're not going to be offended if you bring a suggestion to them or some constructive criticism. They're going to be like, dang, that's good. Let's do that. We want to be the best. Somewhere along the line, I got really thick skin. And I guess, I was involved in some situations that were quite abusive. And the worst abuse is being in business with someone that manipulates you or treats you a certain way if they don't get what they want. And when I think about everything that I learned over the last 30 years and this dream board that I built to 100,000 a month that literally got destroyed just like that, just by power of association, I learned a valuable lesson. I have had times where people took my money. I have had times where people took my business. I have had times where people stole my clients, even in the private label business. Let me tell you something. They never took my spirit. They're not going to take my soul plan. Nothing's ever going to stop something that God intended for you. And they're not going to steal your dream unless you let them. So when you have a dream and you say, I'm going to get this, the only reason why it doesn't come to you, the only reason why it doesn't come to fruition is even if you have self-confidence and you do what you're good at and you're damn good at it and you know you have the talent, it's something that's planted in you of your own self-worth. I woke up today at 3:30 in the morning. Dave was having a dream. I still don't know what the dream was about. Andy was coughing because he decided to clean out all these dusty things in the office, in the shed. I don't know. 3:30 in the morning, I woke up and I literally got in the Word. I got in a book. I got in my devotional. Then I started listening to good stuff. And I was like, there is no way I'm going back to sleep. It's quiet. I'm up. I'm going to really just work on myself. Now, how many of you woke up this morning and the first thing you did is turn on the news? You know more about the news than you know about your future. How many of you woke up this morning, the first thing you did, you scrolled the news feed? You know more about everyone else's vacation than you know about you going on a free cruise that I would pay for. You know more about everyone else's kids than you know about just a conversation or call with your own kids, because you have habits that are not serving you and no self discipline. Here's what I have: I wake up every day and fall asleep every night looking at my list, thinking about my goals, focused on my dreams, bringing my vision to fruition. And I have so much discipline. I have so much discipline. I know that I know that I know that it is happening. Now, how many of you have a dream, but you're not really sure it could happen? I want to read something to you that I read this morning. I know your time is precious. I'm not going to talk for an hour. This is going to be short, to the point, and you're literally going to be begging for more. And this could take me weeks to dive into. You are enough. You are valuable, and you're fully worthy of love and belonging. There's nothing that you have done or that you could ever do that would change that. I'm going to read that again. I'm not showing up to play small. I'm not trying to start a company and do this halfway. I'm not going to do no guts, no story and just ramble. Like, we're literally going to change people's lives. You, exactly as you are enough. You're valuable. You're fully worthy of love and belonging. And there's nothing you have done or could ever do that would change that. I needed to hear that. Any of you need to hear that today? Like, I literally felt like I was a little Baptist girl in the front pew this morning. I was like, amening and hallelujah, and I was by myself. You don't become what you want. This is good. Write this down. You become what you believe. If not enoughness feels like your hidden twin, then we might just be long lost triplets. I wrote down these one-liners. I was like, dang, how many people feel not enough? How many people feel like they're not enough? How many people stay stuck? They never go for their goals. They never go for their dreams. They stay stuck in towns and jobs and environments and places, and they just don't want to make the wrong decision. We don't allow ourselves to feel worthy of achieving that big dream. And when we do, this is the part that just rocked me, we still feel empty. Oh my gosh. If you have ever achieved a really big dream or goal, and after you hit that goal, you still felt empty, just put a heart in the comments. Have you ever, having a baby. Let me ask you this. Why do people have a baby, then have postpartum depression? Why do people move into their dream home, then feel sad? Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because the moment you achieve something, you start questioning if you're worth it. And a lot of people I see that have so much success right under them because of their own self-worth, their own skeletons in the closet, their past, whatever happened, whatever somebody told them. You're a poor communicator. You two suck as leaders. You're never going to have a great business. Nobody's going to follow you. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Like, oh my God, Dave and I could write a book of just what we heard from haters. Just what we heard from haters. And here's what would happen. We would have success. We would get these great leaders under us. And then I don't know what would happen, but we would literally destroy it. Self-sabotage. I can tell you 3 times that it happened. I see you, Susan, and you were here on one of them. One time, Dave and I became the top leaders of a company. Top 3 out of 160,000 distributors. Now, some of the other distributors were doing certain things that we were like, what are they doing? Now, my team was following me. My team didn't even hardly know these other distributors. But this was in 2000 or maybe like 1999, and the internet was a new thing, and it was scary. Like, oh my God, the internet was as scary as AI is right now. Like the whole world was afraid the internet was like, it was going to turn 2000 and the world was going to end, right? And so Dave and I had 50,000 a month. We were barely 30 years old. And there was two other people that were just doing weird stuff. Like one of them, yeah, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. They weren't making enough on the comp plan, so they decided to create a whole bunch of tools and systems. And then they sold these e-cards to everyone in the company in the hallway at the convention. And it was just, my upline called them the parasites of the industry, right? Like back then they had trifold pamphlets and then they had these electronic business cards. And then they had, you could buy leads back then. Oh, they were generating leads, $20, $30 a name. And they were just everywhere, right? And Dave and I, instead of being confident and being like, let them do what they want to do, we're going to keep over here jamming like we're number one. We literally canceled a trip to Italy. We were like, we don't even want to be around these people. 14 days paid to Italy. I still haven't been to Italy. But do you know what? Our self-worth was like, we don't want to be around them. We don't do the internet. We don't want to be around all these people that are doing all these weird systems. Now, granted, we stayed home with our kids, created our own training, gave it to our downline for free, and we became number one. Nobody could touch us. But we sabotaged a lot of relationships based on having to be right, wanting to argue, being threatened by what they did. Why did we even care what they did? If we had self-confidence and we knew that we were worth $40,000 a month, we wouldn't have let anything touch it. Well, I want to tell you guys what happened. All of these toxic leaders that struggled with their own self-worth literally sabotaged the entire company. People were spending more money on all these other things than they were the products, and they spoke it into fruition, and that 18-year-old company went bankrupt, and we lost everything. And I remember sitting there thinking, how could something so good go so bad so quick? 2 words: egos and self-sabotage. And Dave and I learned a very valuable lesson. When you get something that you didn't really work hard for, or you get something and you're not developing personally at the rate of your success, you will always bring it back down to what you think you're worth. So there we were, starting again at 0. And Dave and I made a decision. We're never going to let that happen again. But then we got around some people and we were confident. We knew we could do it. That was this chart. That was this one. Oh my gosh, I missed Chance's last baseball game. He was the MVP. I was at a convention in Las Vegas. I missed his birthday. I was in the Philippines, or actually I was in Barbados at Rihanna's house with all the doctors. Like, oh my God, I'm here. I have arrived. Here's something I'm going to tell you guys right now. Your values and what's most important to you, and being true to your authentic self and what you know you're worth, you'll never have to go do things that you don't want to do with people you don't want to be around, that are not in alignment, congruent with who you are. Because when you're authentic and you stand up for your values and you do what you know is the right thing to do, scared money don't make money. Scared people don't have success. You've got to step up with so much confidence and say, I know my worth. I'm doing this. I'm going to be number one, because with God, who could be against me, right? When you really believe to your core that you can be yourself and you don't have to be something that you're not, and you can be authentic and you will be accepted and loved exactly how you are, I'm telling you guys, Katie bar the door, it's happening. I believe one of the most prevalent forms of cancel culture is one, listen to this. Nobody talks about this. It's one that nobody talks about. It's us canceling us before we even try. I wrote that down. I was like, oh my gosh. It was time to turn down the volume on my doubting mind and turn up the volume of the power of my knowing that I was worth it and that I could do it. Remember what we said earlier. You don't become what you want. You become what you think, what you believe, and what you do feel that you're worth. Anytime you get something that you don't feel you're worth, you will sabotage your success. You will continually being starting because you'll be reactive. You'll get mad about everything. You'll be offended by everyone. You'll be threatened by any competition because you feel less than. So leading a bunch of leaders is kind of like herding cats. And in life, we never really get all of our dreams and goals. We stay stuck at the level of our self-worth. And that is really sad. So I want to speak life into you today because these relationships that you have in your life, the relationships that I'm building with the leaders that we are mentoring, there's things that have happened in their life, hurtful words, crooked CEOs, times that they felt pain. I'm trying to think of some other things. Attacks, betrayal, abandonment. Like there's a lot of them, right? But your body feels the source of any shame, of any guilt, like a miracle in motion. And I could just confess right now, the one that I have always struggled with, always struggled with is guilt. Don't need to go into it, but I'm telling you, I've had to shake that off because if I would start to achieve great success or I want to go do what I know is my purpose or I feel like I'm knocking on the door, then all of a sudden guilt from just a couple of things in my past would creep in. And a little bit of self-doubt destroys all the dreams that you're about to fulfill. So when deep down inside we don't believe we're worthy because we feel guilt or shame or anything like that, we have this dream, it's right there. We know we could have it. Everything's happening for us. Like it's happening, you know it's happening. And then all of a sudden you find a way to lose it all, sabotage it all, flake out on everybody, cancel, decide that maybe you should take a deeper look. Like your mind just gets in the way and it stops you from some of the greatest experiences you could have ever had. And success is like right there. So do you guys have some self-doubt? Anybody have some self-doubt? Drop in the comments. What creates your self-doubt? Can you pinpoint like when was the time? Is it you thinking about other people? Because I have so much self-confidence. Like I know, and I'm not being boastful, but literally it's so funny because I brought it in here. This is so funny. I got to show you this antique as well. I was so good. I literally made a notebook of exactly what to say and exactly what to do to get 100% results every single time, as long as a person was breathing. Not only did I make the notebook, then I put all the tabs, 1 through 31, what these people should do 31 days out of the month. And that's how we got to $100,000 a month in income, because I got enough other people to believe if I just do this and she's going to be right there and the person's going to say this and then I'm going to say that. Like it used to be so hard. There wasn't internet. There wasn't Facebook. COVID hadn't happened. Nobody knew what a Zoom was. Like this crap was hard, right? Because people's biggest fear was like having to talk to someone or present. But somehow by the grace of God, Dave and I figured it out. When you get in alignment with your assignment, you don't even need a script. You're not even going to need all of that training. Because when your alignment is, I know that I'm right exactly where I'm supposed to be, I believe in divine timing. Like I do believe that you're watching this right now, you're hearing this right now, our paths cross for whatever reason. And I'm trying to lead you intentionally, trying to lead you to believe that you are worthy of success. My intention today is to speak to somebody that's watching this live, that's where I used to be, that is so beat down, that has been betrayed, that has been abused, that has been abandoned, that has been called names because they had red hair and freckles and fair skin. And I mean, literally, you guys, I can hear the kids on the playground. I don't even want to repeat what they used to say. Copper top. I mean, red on the head, like a no. I wouldn't even repeat it. Just, I think about how I always felt less than. I was trying to always find QT to make my skin darker. Or I worked at a beauty shop after school cleaning the brushes, and I would literally save the leftover hair color and go home and try to put it on my hair. I tried to get makeup that was like full coverage to cover up my freckles. And the crazy thing is, I think it's why today I cannot stand mean people. I cannot even stand the conversations of mean people. Never been a part of it, never want to be a part of it. I was always the girl at the tetherball letting the new kid go in front of me. I was always in the classroom sitting by the child that was disabled or picked on or didn't have anyone around them. I always gave them my seconds. If I had extra money on my card and they didn't, I don't know why. My birthday is in March. I've always been a people pleaser, which hasn't always been the best. I've always had a really big heart, and I always just expected that everyone else would be like me, but they're not. And what you have to understand is quit expecting you and other people. What you need to do is step into your own worth. What you need to do is build your own dream board. What you need to do is take your dreams and goals and picture yourself as if it's already happened. It's never going away. It's yours. It's right there. Like what you want wants you. And energy is everything, and everything is energy. Every single thought is a prayer, and every single prayer is heard. And some of us are our own worst enemy. So I want to challenge you guys to do something just for the next 72 hours. Today, I want you to make yourself a dream board. And I want you to go take a picture in the house, in the car. If you want to write a book, go sit in the bookstore, take a picture of you signing a book. I want you to buy some house plans. Call Disney, book the trip. You can make payments. Get a place in Cabo, like whatever it is you want to do. Quit waiting for everyone else's approval, and don't wait until you have the money. I want you to design it and plan it as if it's already yours. And I want you to see how quickly you feel increased, because scared money doesn't make money. Scared people don't have success. You've got to leap and the net will appear. This is what I want to leave you with. I read this in a great book today, and I'll tell you the name of the book here in a minute. I need a sign that says this. I literally just want to post this on my wall. Come as you are. Heal where you need. Blossom what you choose. Journey toward your calling. Stay as long as you would like. You belong here. You are worthy. You are loved. You are the love. That's it. I love you guys. I want you to have success beyond your wildest dreams. And the fact that you show up here every Saturday just to listen to me, it really feels my calling, because like this is what I do to not make money. It's free, and it's my favorite hour of the week, because when you step into what your gift is and you're in alignment with the assignment, it never feels bad. I never say, oh, I made all this money, I had this accomplishment, and now I don't know, I'm still empty. Because this isn't money. It's not stuff. It's nothing I can touch or see or feel. It's me being in alignment with an assignment. And that is to be authentic and know your worth and share your story and serve other people. And that will change your life. I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. I got to jump off here and get on our company training call. But I'm telling you guys, we have something really special happening right now. And I would love for you to experience it. You do not have to stay stuck. You are enough, and you can do and be and have anything that you ever dream of, as long as you believe. And secondly, know that you're worth it, because you are. Have a good day.